Hello, everyone. You have right here of talking about, hello, everyone. You have right here of talking about whenever it comes to understanding about Adobe Distiller here, and everybody might even want to know too, is toward it. We've all heard that before. Toward it, it is what it is. And a lot of times you always want to know too, is that whenever we do hear that word and phrase toward it, it is what it is. What is it that maybe people are trying to say here? And most of the time it seems like it is toward it, yeah, it is what it is, meaning toward it you have to accept the results of what it shows, or what it reads, and about the facts of the matter. So a lot of times people might say is toward, oh, okay, so basically what you're saying is this toward it, if you show enough proof right here toward it, yeah. And this right here was supposed to be any source of greeting card though, but like everybody might say that if you were trying to talk about something, and let's just say that what if I told you that I have an idea right here? So everybody may want to know too, that do you think that maybe that you would use distiller for that reason, to where that you were trying to show somebody some facts about a document? This document right here is supposed to explain the whole story. It's supposed to explain why this is the way it is and how it is the way it is. And in case if anybody's wondering toward it, yeah, well, you can't always get what you want, but on the other hand, too, that there's more than what there were. And so, what does that even mean in general? In case if anybody's wondering toward it, what does that mean? Whenever we talk about facts, whenever we talk about information, do we have more information now than compared to what we had about maybe a month ago, or maybe about a year ago, or something like that? And so each time you think about that, and you're thinking as to where, well, I didn't really turn to look back at all the papers or whatever, but still, that talk about it is what it is. It is what it is right here. And so basically means toward, yeah, you need to accept the facts for the way they are right here. And so, in case of anybody's wondering toward it, whenever people do say that, by the way, that it seems like toward it, what they basically are saying is toward it, yeah, that I just want to leave. I don't want to explain the whole story. Yeah. I do not have time to explain, so I am going to leave the facts as they are. And most of the time, that's usually what people are saying right here, is that when we talk about it is what it is, whenever it comes to looking at facts and proof and anything else that's going on, and people may say is toward, yeah, what it pretty much means right here is that you need to accept the situation toward what it reads. If you see something that reads about the truth and facts and any ideas about any source of readings of what it says right here. And so that's pretty much what that says right there. That when we talk about it is what it is, but in case if anybody's wondering toward it, yeah, well, why didn't you just put down here, maybe somewhere on the bottom, is toward it, that, yeah, you need to accept it. You're like, yeah, do you agree? So it sure seems that way, that's pretty much what it's saying right here. So what this right here was supposed to be a PDF file document right here, and people might say that, yeah, this right here was supposed to be any source of discussion, any source of conversation right here. And people may say is to where, yeah, it is what it is, okay? I'm not going to try to confuse anybody any more than what the facts are. Yeah, it's a long story, but it is what it is, okay? We have to move on. I'm getting tired of arguing about it, and I know a lot of people might even say that, as to where you get in these conversations a lot of times, and what they're basically are saying is toward it, yeah, they want to leave it the way it is. Okay, it is what it is. Meaning to where that they're getting tired of arguing about it. They're getting tired of fighting about it, and they're getting tired of hearing one thing after another. And that's another thing that one of the reasons why people use the word and phrase is to where it is what it is. It is what it is, and I don't have time to argue about it. And so that's and there may be a little bit of reason why that somebody uses that source or word or phrase as to where it is what it is. And so it sure seems that way that every time you think about that, and people may want to know too, is to where that it is what it is. But still, that people may want to know too is toward, oh, okay, so, with Distiller right here, could you possibly, put together maybe 4 or 5 other pages? And, like, let's just say that if somebody wanted a copy of a transcript about what was talked about or something like that, but like everybody might say that, it is what it is. So pretty much is that you are allowing the Adobe software to where that if there's a document that says I'm like you can produce and you have these options here to work with PDF file documents right here, but people might say is to where what is a good phrase to talk about for it is what it is. And so I use this example right here, but in case if anybody's wondering to where that that we're talking about is that that anything that you read right on here, if this right here was supposed to be like a greeting card, or I can explain the whole story just to make the long story short, these are the words that I decided to use or something like that. So everybody might say is to where well, how often are you really going to see that to where that somebody wants to make the long story short, and they're going to say that I'm just going to leave it the way it is. It's a really long story, and so somebody's going to maybe say that I'll go ahead and add right here to where it's a really long story. It's a really long story, but just to make the long story short here, is that, we talked. So a lot of times that, everybody might say that, you use that right there to where that, we talked about it, but we also talked about the things that we can remember. And a lot of times everybody might say that if you use the word it is what it is, that I guess it's another way of saying is just to where I still remember that. I remember that, and I get it. I get it now. So what are you gonna do? And so it sure seems that way to where that you pretty much have to tell everybody that that people say is to where it is what it is, and you just want to kind of make the long story short. You don't want to talk about it, or you just want to move on and to other things, whichever. But still, that I just know that whenever it comes to understanding about is to where that whenever people do use the word is toward it is what it is, that you're thinking is toward it. Well, really, I really think in a lot of ways too that people say that just because to make the long story short. It's a really long story, and I don't have time to explain it. Okay, and just accept the facts the way they are. Or some moments where you just don't want to talk about them. You just want to get a better understanding of what the situation is, and so yep. So even if it was maybe at a dance party or at a meeting or something like that, and say is toward what if I told you that I have an idea, I remember and I get it and I understand, and so it's like every time you do think about that in your word toward it, what does it really even mean whenever we say that is to where it is what it is? and everybody would say is toward it. That's exactly what it means. It means is toward it. You need to accept and agree. Toward it. What's more important. For the situation. It's not really. Yeah. Is it really about the person? Is it about what's the main topic here? What's this all about? And so it's like, yeah, well, a lot of people, and I can guarantee you, everybody, that if you're going to be starting out with any sort of situation, it's a really long story. So it is what it is because, it's so detailed that I can't really explain the whole story to you or something like that. It's a really long story and I don't have time to explain. So it is what it is. But still, how many of us are really maybe going to even say to where that, yeah, if you want to go ahead and explain the story right here, is that what if I told you that I want to surprise you? I have an idea, to what to surprise you with or something like that. But anyway, but talk about over here, and yeah, it's a really long story. So don't we all have a long story? I would like to know too, is to where besides dreaming about something or whichever, I'm like, we all have long stories, and I'm sure everybody might say is toward it, yeah, we all have a long story to share, but still, could you possibly explain your long story just by putting together on a greeting card to where you put a big picture like this right here, and you would explain the details right here about, to make the long story short, this is what was going on, this is how we met, and what if I told you that I have an idea? And so, yeah, so it's like people might say this toward it just to make the long story short. This right here, the way it was put together right here, with all these words and all that, it's supposed to explain, all the memories that you had to share and all the details from what was going on during that time. But it's like a collage. It's like a collage. You put it together like a collage right here, but still, that people are trying to understand that this is what's been going on from the past 5 years. That this is how you met, and then this is what you've been doing, and so everybody might say is where, yeah, it is what it is. You got to accept the fact that this is what was going on during the time. Yeah, I remember that, or I remember this. But anyway, thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day.